What's going on, Canes family? We are back with another recruit interview at the Scoop on the U. Today, we have got a very, very talented 2024 wide receiver coming out of Pittsburgh. He goes to Central Catholic High School in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. His name is Peter Gonzalez. What's up, Peter? How you doing?
Good, good. How are you?
You're doing great, man. Thanks for taking some time to join us today and let the Canes fan base get a little more familiar with you.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. So, what is your current height and weight right now?
I'm 6'2", 200 pounds.
Okay. And have you had your wingspan measured?
I have my arm, actually not my wingspan, but my arm length was 31 inches. I'm not sure what you could do with that, but
Well, you can see the length that you have on the field. You know, you can see where it gives you an advantage. So what's this off season been like for you? You know, what have you really wanted to work on to take your game to the next level?
For me, I've been focusing on speed. I've always had kind of size on DBs, and I feel like if I can mix that with a lot of speed, that can make me a dangerous guy to guard. So I'm working on my speed and my agility. Trying to work like a smaller guy with my frame, I feel like it can make me very dangerous.
Are you working with any specific trainers?
No, it's mostly been school ball. And then I go to a gym up in Pittsburgh called the Lab, coached by Tom Ricketts.
Okay.
And I work out there, but other than that, no.
Any focus in the weight room now?
Honestly, just building muscle, strength, but also staying explosive. I've put on a few pounds since the season, and I'm just trying to stay agile with that muscle, but I also want to be big enough to where I can impose my will.
Yeah, definitely. So this last high school season, how did it go for you and your team?
It went pretty well. Made it to the championship game, district championship. Outcome wasn't what we wanted, but we had a good season. Only lost one or two regular season games, and we're looking to pick right back up where we left off this season.
Do you remember what kind of stats you put up?
I had like 500 yards with 6 TDs, and I averaged like 17.9 yards per catch.
That's a healthy average, definitely.
Thank you.
What was a big game last season? Because one of my big beliefs is competition breeds greatness. You know, the better competition you play against, the better player you will become. Was there a game last year where you felt like you had a big battle and it helped you develop as a player?
Oh, most definitely. Week 3, we played a rival named Pine Richland, and early on they got a 3-touchdown lead on us going into halftime. It was very demoralizing for the team, but we rallied together. Came out at halftime, had a 25-yard post for a touchdown, great throw by my quarterback, and we rallied back to win that game 42-35. So it was definitely a big win for us.
And now, is that your main rival as well?
Yeah. The district, the way it's sectioned off, they were moved down, but I mean through the early 2010s, they were definitely our biggest rival.
Right on, man. Right on. So what do you feel some of the best traits are for wide receivers, physically and mentally?
Physically, I think obviously we all have God-given ability, things we can control, size, and things like that. But with what you're given, I think route running, obviously being able to catch the ball. If you can't catch the ball, you can't play receiver. So I think those two things. And mentally, I think it's just having a short-term memory. You drop a ball, you got to forget it, or move on to the next play, because no one's gonna give you the time to recover. You got to do that stuff mentally. So
Exactly. You know, one thing I noticed on your film, you do a great job hauling in contested passes. How is that something that you practice at? You know, how do you practice your timing and stuff like that? Is it just repetition over and over, or are there actual drills you run through that help you with that?
for me, it was actually basketball.
Okay.
I was on the court, and so I was always in the paint getting rebounds. And I think having 2-3 guys going for the same rebound has taught me how to high point the ball and time my jumps to where I can be the first one to get it.
If you get pressed at the line, is there a move that you like to use to help you free up a little bit of space?
For me, it's called a shock release. Because I'm bigger, so I get up to the line, and if a guy's pressing me, I'll shoot my hands first, and I'll hit him in the shoulder pads as hard as I can. And usually that gets him on balance before he can get me off balance. And so that makes him back up a little bit and recover, which gives me time to get off the ball.
And you mentioned, working on speed. You do have some decent speed already, but I can understand why you want to keep improving at it. You do a good job of getting yards after the catch. That's what I did notice. What makes you feel you're so good as that? Is that vision and speed mixed, or is that just a lot of vision?
I think it has to do with vision. And I think it has to do with matchups. The corners they like to play off when they're playing me because I can get by them. So getting a ball and being able to make a move on one guy gives me the opportunity to make another guy miss. Whereas some other guys, they're in the middle a lot. They have a lot of guys around them, hard for them to get yards after the catch. But my isolations outside kind of give me the opportunity to get away.
Now, we're talking about some game week film study right here versus the cornerback you're going to be lining up against mostly. What are some of the first things you try to key in to take advantage?
For me, I like to look where his eyes go. Some corners, they look at your head, they look at your eyes. Some guys look at your hips. And I just like to see how they play guys and what they're looking at. I look at their different triggers. If they like to play hard on you, if they like to give us a little space, if they're quick, if they're not quick, because you can tell a lot by a guy based on how he plays a guy similar to you.
Do you have any favorite players that you like to look up to? Maybe guys you can steal a little bit of info from them, steal little moves from them,
For me, going with Pittsburgh guys, always been Larry Fitzgerald. That's always been the guy I've looked up to. Yeah. Obviously a great college wide receiver and NFL guy. But just watching him go against these DBs, I feel like we have very similar skill sets, and I try to develop my game around his.
He has a very technical game. He doesn't win with just speed or just size, and I can see where that relates to you, to where you really use that technical aspect to your advantage. So Larry Fitzgerald is a fantastic guy to look forward to. Definitely. So how do you describe your game? What kind of player are you, Peter?
I think I'm a physical player. A big thing for my high school team and my head coach has always been running the ball, and you can't run the ball if you guys aren't blocking. So I took a lot of pride this year in blocking, and I think that very well transitioned into me being able to be more physical when it comes to my routes and in traffic, and just me being able to impose my will on the corners.
Who are some of the high school coaches you got helping you out right now? Go ahead and give them a shout out.
My head coach, Terry Totten, he's been doing it for more years than I've been alive, led some great teams, and just his leadership has really helped carry our team. My coach, Dave Fleming, our defensive guy, he's very passionate about what he's doing, always rallies our team together. And the rest of my staff too, always super supportive, wants the best for us as a team and for me as an individual. So just my whole staff at Central has really, really been amazing.
You are a 2024 recruit, but how has this recruiting process gone for you so far? Are you enjoying it?
Oh, yeah. I've loved visits, just being able to talk to different people along the way, getting a feel for the type of college ball I want to play. There's been schools I've liked, there's been schools I haven't, and just getting a feel for that and the different people around these different programs has really been amazing.
What are some of the schools showing you a lot of love right now?
Miami has shown me a lot of love when I went down there. Virginia Tech, my hometown, Pitt, Cincinnati, West Virginia, they've all been very, very well in showing me love and just making me feel wanted.
What are some of these recent visits that you've taken lately?
Most recently, I went to Virginia Tech, and they offered me as I was on the visit. I got to go to the Penn State spring game. And then obviously I went to Miami earlier this spring. And then actually on Thursday, I'll be heading up to Maryland.
Okay. And is Maryland your only future visit that you have scheduled right now?
As of right now, yes, but I do also want to get to Penn State pretty soon. That's been one I'm really keying on, as well as Wisconsin, but it is very far from my house, so that's going to take a little bit more planning to get out to.
Okay. Tell us about your experience at Miami before they offered you. What was it like there?
It was good to see the energy they had. The new coaching staff, they brought a lot of fire and energy. It was refreshing to see how passionate they were about what they were doing and what they were building. Even from like the 7-on-7, defense would make a play, all the coaches would go hype, and it was awesome to see. And then there's the love they showed all the people that were there. It didn't matter if you were a recruit, a parent, a fan. They just showed everyone love, and that was great to see.
So how did it go down when they offered you? What's the story there?
So the day was wrapping up. We just took pictures. I was with Tamir, and I was told that Coach Cristobal wanted to meet with me in his office. So me and my dad, we went back into his office, and he had 14 championship rings, 2 Heisman's, all laid out on the table for me to see. He sat me and my dad down, showed us the layout for the future plans, the new facility they're trying to build. And then he just let me know that he wanted to offer me. He loved how I played and said they wanted me at the U.
So what are your feelings overall about this new Miami staff?
Oh, I got to meet most of them, and I love them. Just their energy is amazing. It's so contagious with the players. You can just tell that everyone's excited and passionate about what they're about to do. And I think that with this staff, they can do big things in the ACC this year.
That's great, man. We love hearing that, dude. So I got 3 words for you, and I want to hear what they mean to you specifically. Miami Hurricanes football. What does that mean to Peter Gonzalez?
To me, I think of swag. I think of like the early 90s, just the swag they brought to the field. I think it's something that rocked the college football world. And when you think of Miami, you just think of players who go out there and ball. They don't care about the media. They don't care about what people are saying about them. They just go and love playing football. So that's kind of what I think about when I hear the U.
How long have you been playing football?
Actually, this was my first full year of football.
Wow.
I was hurt my freshman year. I got to play one game, a playoff game, but I didn't play out that season. So then this year was my first full year of football.
So you really could be looking at a blow-up season for you next year, like truly, really getting exposed.
Yeah.
So then this being your first time really getting into football, did they start you off at wide receiver right away, or was there other positions they tried you at?
I went in asking to be a wide receiver, and I think they kind of saw it, but they did hint at me playing maybe some outside linebacker, just a big body out there. But I think early on in camp, I kind of showed that I could hang at receiver, and I became one of the top guys. So they left me out there, and I did what I had to do.
What's the expectations and goals for your this upcoming high school season?
For me personally, I mean, obviously our team, I think we got big things coming. Back to that championship game, and I got in the bag this year. We've been working hard all off season, and this summer is going to be big for us. For me personally, I want to go out there and play. The stats I put up will come from the team, but as long as it helps us win, I'm happy with it.
I mean, of course, team first always, but is there any kind of stats that kind of stick out to you that you might like to reach, like any milestones or anything like that?
For me, I kind of want to get into double-digit touchdowns. I love scoring. That feeling's unlike any other.
Yep.
So I think getting double-digit touchdowns this year would be great.
That's what I was actually going to ask you is what gets you most excited on the field during game day? Is that scoring a touchdown?
Scoring a touchdown, honestly, that kind of calms the nerves, but the excitement comes from kickoff. When that ball's kicked, the fans are hyped, the lights are shining, there's no other feeling like it. And then once you get into the game, you kind of lock in, and all nerves kind of go away, and you're focusing on your mission for that game.
Do you have a favorite NFL team?
Hey, Pittsburgh Steelers, baby. Always been a Steelers fan.
That's what I figured, man. No doubt about it. If you could give younger wide receivers some advice, what would you tell them? What would you tell them to work on and try to master early on in their profession?
Early on, just go out and play. Catch the ball is the biggest thing. The one thing that'll take you away from being a wide receiver is not being able to catch the ball. So catch everything with your hands, bring everything in, and everything else will come. The speed, the routes, that's more technical, and you'll get that with coaching. But catch the ball, work on your athleticism, be able to jump, be able to run, and everything else will come with that.
So just spend a lot of time at that jugs machine too, or what?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Your friends outside, if they're playing ball, go catch with them. Just spend a lot of time. Play other sports. Like I said, basketball gave me my ability to go high point the ball, those jump balls. I give all my credit to basketball with that. I never really worked on the football field. It just came naturally. So play other sports, basketball, baseball, run track. Just do a lot of things as a kid.
So as I say, that basketball background, I can tell, that explosive burst that you have when you jump, and then being light on your feet for your size. So that's great advice for you to tell other young wide receivers to explore other sports, because it truly can help them out. There's no doubt about it.
Most definitely.
Well, I got one last question for you, Peter, and this is a question that I ask every single recruit that we bring on for interviews. Why do you love the game of football? Where do you get that passion to go out there and dominate at the highest level on a weekly basis?
I mean, I grew up around football. My dad played pro football. But for me, I think it's just being able to use my God-given ability in a positive way, and just what comes from being able to play football, the impact I can have on communities, really gives me the drive to go out there and play my best every day.
Well, Peter, man, it sounds like you are focused. You've got a good circle around you that are keeping you focused on the right things, and you've got an exciting future. I mean, just learning that you are just starting to play wide receiver and you're already playing this well, dude, sky's the limit, bro. Like, honestly, sky is the limit.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for taking the time to jump on here. And like I said, let Canes fans get a little more familiar with who Peter Gonzalez is. And we definitely, in the future, would love to bring you back on so we can update fans about your recruitment.
Oh, most definitely. I'd love to come back. Thank you so much for having me.
It's no problem at all, Peter. Have yourself a good day. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks. You too.
All right, guys. That is 2024 wide receiver. 2024 wide receiver from Pittsburgh, Peter Gonzalez. 6'2", good length, good speed, great vision. This is a high upside player who's just learning how to play the sport and learning how to play the position. So keep an eye out for him, because if he's only played this for 1 year, just imagine what's going to happen with a whole year and another year under his belt. Thank you, Canes fans, for tuning in. And always, it's all about the U. Go Canes.